Hey, it's Big Game James McCarty, the sports director at Flag Family Media, and this Friday night we're going to be at Shanley to take on, as the Shanley Deacons take on the West Fargo Sheyenne Mustangs. We're here now with Shanley Deacon head football coach Troy Mattern. Coach, your squad won the 2022 state championship. You had a lot of kids graduate, but it looks like this is almost the same team production-wise this season. How has the beginning of the year gone for you in your eyes?
You know, we have a good senior class that's back. A lot of kids that played a lot of minutes last year, a lot of meaningful minutes, and they've obviously taken the leadership role. And, this will be a good test this Friday. You know, we're excited with where our start has been. Obviously, to win your first 3 games is important, but I know our kids had this game on their calendar when the schedule came out in the summer. So we're excited for the opportunity. Obviously, Cheyenne's a good program, and, it's going to be a good high school football game.
And just looking at how, in high school, it's so hit and miss with quarterback play. If you want to throw the ball, but can you throw the football? And heck, you had your son Cooper here for a little while. He balled out. Mike Rosberg the last couple of years, and now Landon Meyer comes in here, and I was like, you know what? He'll be a good quarterback. And then I watched the opener, him slinging around against Bismarck High. I mean, where do you build these quarterbacks from? I guess it's unbelievable. Where does this talent come from?
Well, in our offense, you guys have watched enough of it. It's not a hit or miss with our quarterbacks. We really work hard, even when our kids are young, our quarterbacks, really developing them and understanding our system. And I think we have it set up really nicely. But, yeah, Landon obviously has come in. Landon's a competitor. He's a gamer. He's a great leader. And he's being able to see what we do. And these kids get a lot of reps in practice, even though they're not getting the game reps, because, like you mentioned, we had Cooper and Michael. But all of our backups are getting a lot of reps because the way we play with tempo, we play fast, we get a lot of reps in practice. So these kids are getting a lot of meaningful reps. So when it is their opportunity to play, they're ready to go. And Landon's he's a smart kid. He's got a lot of athletes around him, so he just understands where the ball needs to be delivered, and he's doing a good job with it.
On top of that, defensively, it looks as though the first couple of games as well, whether you look at the Bismarck High game, the West Fargo High game, your guys are like ball hawks out there. Once again, they're forcing turnovers, they're coming up with big plays, and it just looks as though a lot of those guys are returners as well. They're just a little bit more comfortable than even that defense looked like at this time last season as well.
I think the reason we had success that last month of last year was because of our defense, the way they grew. Now we have 8-11 starters back, so just that experience and, a great offseason. But we just have a lot of kids that are athletic. They play fast, and I think anytime you can be fast on defense, you're going to cause a lot of problems, and I think that's what we're doing early. So we're definitely still going to hang our hat on our defensive side of the ball, even though our offense is having really good success. It really is predicated off of where the defense is giving us field position.
And if there's one thing that we do know heading into this matchup with West Fargo Sheyenne and the Mustangs, Coach Jeremy Newton and what he does, they like to run the football, but you know what? They have a quarterback over there in Caleb Deere who can sling it a little bit if need be. And then defensively as well, that Mustang squad is always so fundamentally sound, and they force turnovers as well. Can we just kind of go through quick, what's the key offensively and defensively for your squad? Because that's a really well-coached team as well over there with Cheyenne.
Yeah, I think if you've watched the last 5-6 matchups against us, they've been really good football games. And I think, the keys are always the same. You don't want to say cliche as a coach, but it's going to come down to turnovers. I think the games that we lost to them in the past, we just didn't do a good job taking care of the ball. And really, Cheyenne's our kryptonite right now. They've had our number, and we got to figure out how to overcome them. The last time that we beat them was at our place, and otherwise seems like we've always been playing over there. So we're just excited to have a home game with them. But like you said, they're a well-coached team. They've had a lot of success, and yeah, offensively they got a really good team. They got a lot of skilled guys, a lot of guys that have played a lot of football as well. So it's going to make for a really good Friday night.
And that new turf actually. So what if was it late 2000? I want to say 2007. That's probably wrong on that though. When the turf was originally put in at Shanley, now you guys have that completely revamped. It's renovated. It's brand new. It's ready to be broken in. How are specifically your players kind of looking at chomping at the bit of that opportunity to go break in that new turf?
If you look across the state of North Dakota, everybody's within 2-3 years of brand new turf. So we were the first to get the turf. Now we're the last to replace it. So it was much needed. Our turf was shot, and it looks beautiful. It turned out great. So now we're just like every other team. And as a matter of fact, we got to practice on the grass, and these kids are like, "Oh my gosh, grass! How can we practice on grass?" It's so we always make fun of that because these kids are so spoiled with facilities nowadays to have that even surface. We don't play a game on grass anymore. When it's crazy when you think about it, but to be able to have the surface that we do and the home field advantage, we're going to unveil it on Friday night in front of we expect a huge crowd. It's our homecoming, so it's going to be a great atmosphere, and we're really excited for it.
If you were to have a player or two, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one, Coach. Player or two that maybe are not on that big scouting report yet, or maybe media doesn't know about, or maybe just the public, they don't quite know about yet. Because you always seem to, midway through the year, have a couple of players that seem to start making an impact. A young man that I think about is Caden Crispin last year, specifically special teams and kind of working his way up as well. Are there a player or two that we can be looking for Friday night that I think are going to finally put their kind of stamp on the map?
You know, I think one is Luke Rogan. He's a two-way starter for us now. He broke his hand last year, actually broke his growth plate, so he missed all last season. You know, he's a big kid, both offensively and defensive side of the ball, and he's been a huge, not, I don't want to say surprise, but just an early success for us, a great leader. And I think not only him, but our whole offensive line, we've really gelled together. And I think, you know, in the backfield, we're really pleased with where our game is with Chad Pollock. You know, he's a junior. He's had some meaningful yards. We're obviously going to run some Perkarovich a little bit this week, but Chad's really stepped up his game. It just allows a lot of our kids to be able to get more rest, play on the defensive side of the ball, because as you're aware, we play fast. You know, we have a high tempo and we want to play fast, so therefore we got to be conditioned and get kids on and off the field, so we want to make sure. But I think, you know, those are two, but I think it really comes down to we have a lot of juniors stepping up, and that's the key. You know, we have a really good senior class, but what are we going to do to create that depth? And we're really looking to that junior class to provide that.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming. It's your time today. We always appreciate it. Good luck to your Deacons moving forward this weekend and the rest of the season, and I'm sure we'll have more conversations about a deep playoff run.
All right, James, appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm Big Game James McCarty, the sports director at Flag Family Media. Have a great rest of your day.